We tune because we like you. Yes. Welcome once again to another lovely little Thursday afternoon Troubadork non-commute show here in San Antonio, Texas at an undisclosed location where I am once again valiantly attempting to entertain and amuse with a bunch of goofy little songs and stuff. Hey, y'all. All right. There. I'm not sure if that did anything or not. How are you? Hey, Richard. Oh, Richard, I have got your envelope and your button, and we're going to mail that off probably tomorrow, Saturday. I got a pile of things to send off to the mail. I discovered the difference between mail, envelope, and mail. It must be a package even though it's in a padded envelope. Not on your stuff, but on somebody else's stuff. So, no real theme today. Just stuff that seemed like a good idea at the time. Which kind of sums up my entire existence, really, when you think about it. There we go. Hey, guys. All right. So, like I said, no real theme. I'm happy to see y'all. I hope y'all are doing okay. It's getting less hot here. It was over 100 degrees for this entire week and a good chunk of the week before it. We had some exciting things where our air conditioner died. Saturday morning around somewhere between midnight and 4 a.m. And that was an exciting thing, and maybe I'll yammer about that a little bit. Maybe not. We'll see. Let's do a song, shall we? Let's do a song. We'll do a song. Hey, look. It's Those Possums. I'll get it. Possums in a trench coat come to tea. They sit right at a table like you and me. Do they want another biscuit? Better give them 3, 'cause they're not really a gather 6 possums in a trench coat. Am I projecting too much? Possums in a trench coat go to town. Got themselves an Uber, couldn't flag it down. Now the driver didn't stop, no, he just kept on going 'cause he didn't want to drive 6 possums in a trench coat. Possums in a trench coat see a show. Do you give them just one seat or the entire front row? Do the possums in the middle just peek out through the buttons? Man, I got so many questions for 6 possums in a trench coat. Bridge! Possums in a trench coat on a date. Got there 20 minutes early, couldn't stand to be late. Everything turned out to go much better than expected, 'cause their date turned out to be 6 possums in a caftan. Possums in a trench coat. Possums in a trench coat. Possums in a trench coat. 6 possums in a caftan. A little audio a little audio caffeine here. And yes, of course, the 6 possums in a trench coat. From the top moving down, Geraldine, Bob, or Roberto, they won't tell us, Sophia, Cameron, Roberto, or Bob, they won't tell us, and of course George, also known as Hatchback. That illustration, by the way, is by the highly esteemed Mel White. Mel White is an incredibly talented illustrator, cartoonist, and nifty human being, all-around human being. And I was very lucky to run into her again. Every time you say you do bridge, I expect someone to get a face full of overpass. You know something, back when, and this is how old I am, when we were doing music class back in like elementary school, and they did the Erie Canal song, and if you don't know what the Erie Canal song is, then you had a better education than I did. There's a chord, the chorus is low bridge, everybody down, and in my head, every time, I was expecting that. We didn't actually have anybody get smacked in the face by an overpass, but it's nice to see that some things just kind of stay with us over the years. Amy reports she has seen it happen. Pickup truck. Everybody standing up in the back. Went under an underpass. She was the only one who didn't have to duck. Somebody did. One guy needed to duck and did not. And if you've ever been on the river tours in San Antonio, on the river tour, there's a moment. That is in fact, yes, that is in fact to the tune of Mirror in the Bathroom. A little bit of story time. It's a little story time here about this. See, my friend Cameron, a few years back, mentioned that they felt that they were not in fact a human being, but in fact were 3 possums in a trench coat. Now, my brain immediately like, really? And the English beat song Mirror in the Bathroom cracked up into Possums in a trench coat, come to tea. I'll file that away. And it started at 3 possums, but since 3 possums is funny, 6 possums is freaking hilarious. And that's why it's 6 possums in a trench coat. And then I commissioned the picture, as you see right here, from Mel, and Mel drew this wonderful picture, and it's actually a button too. If you want to get a 6 possums in a trench coat button, you can go to the Adequate shop on my Tobias the Adequate Facebook page, and at some point I will actually get it updated on the store on the website. I'm working to update the website. It'll be done any day now. So that's where that came from. 6 possums in a trench coat. It made its debut at Texas Furry Fiesta in Dallas in late February, very beginning of March, before this whole COVID thing happened. Next song is a folk song, and it is one that I wrote like several years ago, and was actually goaded into writing it further by people on Facebook, because that's what happens. And it is, in fact, a riff on Paperback Writer. So, those of you who've been hanging around with this, yes, duck your head, Lola Brigida. Those of you who've been coming to these shows know that I have a love, hate, fear relationship with the opening riff for Paperback Writer, that is to say, Renaissance Minstrel. I'm almost good at it. If I can remember that I'm going to be picking one part with my thumb, and then everything else with my index finger, I'm almost good at it. We'll see how we do. I guarantee nothing. As the disclaimer and official motto of the show says, I am not very good at this. Renaissance minstrel, minstrel, minstrel. I pity my Lord, will you hear this song? It took me years to write, it will not take too long. It's based on a sonnet by a man named Kit, and I need a patron, so I long to be a Renaissance minstrel. Renaissance minstrel. 'Tis a noble saga of a wandering knight, and his lady's love keeps him up at night. His son's a lowly squire to schlepping swords. 'Tis a steady job, but he longs to be a Renaissance minstrel. Renaissance minstrel. minstrel, minstrel, minstrel. 'Tis 100 verses, give or take a few. I'll be writing more in a week or two. I can make it Latin if you like the sound. Sed futur salmet, but I long to be a Renaissance minstrel. Renaissance minstrel. If you do enjoy it, I can sing it there. I get so tired of wandering from fair to fair. You must return and send it to the king. He'll just put his name on it and call himself a Renaissance minstrel. Renaissance minstrel, Renaissance minstrel, minstrel. Renaissance minstrel, minstrel. Renaissance minstrel, minstrel. Alas, my love, you do me wrong, minstrel. Passed out with good company, minstrel. So far, that is Paperback Writer Lick 5, Tobias 3. I'm catching up, and I think I might be ahead on points by the end of the season, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, goodness gracious me. So, I'm doing this because, well, I'm not driving to work, and that's why this is the non-commute show. This is what I do in lieu of commuting. And yes, I have used the word lieu, and hopefully used it properly in a sentence. Thank you. I've been writing filks and goofy little songs and stuff for a while, and it's gotten more. There are more songs that are percolating, rattling around. Those of you who have seen my pictures as Ugar D. Troll might be terrified to know that Ugar has actually started to write a song. Yep. I'm as concerned as the rest of you. It's based on Ugar's understanding of human greetings. Because Ugar is a big scary troll, when Ugar comes down out of the mountain, everybody who sees him shouts a traditional human greeting of "What now?" running around screaming and flailing. And when he leaves, they all shout the traditional human farewell of "Go away." So that's what he's learned, and that's what that song's about. I will not be doing that song yet because it's not done, but I'm working on it. I'm working on several songs, in fact, including one song I will not do on this show because I would expose my wife to it, and she does not want to be exposed to this song. We've established that. It's an it's a fairly innocent song, but it's still, the title of it is "When I Accidentally FaceTimed My Crotch," and that's it. That's all we're gonna do about that one. So, in lieu of doing something like that, I'm gonna do another song, and I'm gonna do a song that this show is pretty much all songs that other people wrote at least part of. This one was written entirely by my good friend John, also known as the mighty, mighty Quigley Finch. And it is called The Captain's Log. And if you have never heard it, you are so in for it. It's an entirely innocent and lovely song. But you do have to listen all the way to the end. Weirdly enough, it starts in C. Oh, the name of the ship on which we sail is a jolly roving dog. And the crew be bold, the boatswain's old, and we all do love our grog. The captain was the toughest man whatever sailed the seas. And then one thing finally laid him low, 'twas a nasty French disease. Oh, we sail the briny oceans on the jolly roving dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. Oh, a year ago our captain died, old France had finally won. The first mate waited by his side for the setting of the sun. And the last words of the captain to the good crew of the Dog was that no one could ever take his place till they found the captain's log. Oh, we sail the briny oceans on the jolly roving Dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. So we searched down in the scuppers and we searched up in the nests. For a time we held our spirits high with witty words and jests, but soon a gloom surrounded us just like a pea soup fog. For no matter where we looked, we could not find the captain's log. Oh, we sail the briny oceans on the jolly roving Dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. So at last we turned to the great big book that the captain took to sea, in which he kept each day's events as written history. But no matter could we find inside that vast and mighty tome any hint to where the captain's log had chosen for to roam. Oh, we sail the briny oceans on the jolly roving Dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. For the many logs that we did find, they all did look the same. But we never did find a piece of wood inscribed with the captain's name. Oh, we sailed the briny oceans on the jolly roving Dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. Once more we sail the briny oceans on the jolly roving Dog, and we will not rest upon our quest to find the captain's log. Letters of protest can be sent to me, the Troubadork Show, care of Facebook.com. I'm noticing that I have not played that song very often, and recently, although it's weird to think about the fact that this is show number 68, I have done 68 of these bloody things. Yikes, that's a lot! Although much of the approach for this is the flight hours portion plan, which I talked about a little bit yesterday. So if you missed it, you're going to listen to it now. The idea behind it is lifted directly from Penn and Teller, because they lifted it from commercial airline pilots. Commercial airline pilots don't talk about what kind of planes they've flown, what kind of conditions they've flown in. They talk about flight hours. The number of flight hours you have is a reflection of how much experience you have obtained, because the theory is that if you fly long enough, you will fly in every single condition possible, and thus you will rack up enough flight hours to have an idea what to do in every circumstance. That's kind of what I'm doing here. This is really an open rehearsal with on-screen heckling and support, and I appreciate the heck out of that. So I'm not real good at this. I started out as a magician, as we all know, and I got tired of people asking me, oh, what instrument do you play? I learned how to play this thing in self-defense. And so I've been writing songs, but I've been writing songs and doing this kind of goofy little stuff for most of my life. I mean, literally most of my life. It doesn't turn off. This never, ever turns... You can ask Amy. My wife, it never turns off. It really doesn't. So let us go to a good end of the week, last show of the week. Let's just have fun song. One of my favorites, possibly one of yours, and one that's hard for me to mess up at this point because I've played it an awful lot. I will be playing yet more new and different songs as we go, but I felt like today we kind of deserved it. Yeah, that's right, getting my 10,000 hours in. 30 pain-racked minutes at a time. All right, anyway, we're going to do a song. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a song. I'm going to push the button that says song 4, and it says it is. Yes, it is that song because it's a fun song, and I enjoy the heck out of it. And there is actually a Bertha's MUSSELS in Baltimore, Maryland, and apparently they are pretty darn good. And the folks that wrote this song were fond of them. Eat Bertha's MUSSELS, they're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them in the bar. So when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. Now a sailor came to Bertha's, who the problem most severe. His manly pride had been atrophied by a voyage of 14 years. So he ate a plate of mussels, now he sings in a different key. His jibboom set right, he'll be back there tonight, and he's not going back to sea. So eat Bertha's MUSSELS, they're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them in the bar. So when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. Now a lady came to Bertha's who wanted a daughter or son. The doctors had said with a shake of their head that she couldn't have either one. So she ate a plate of mussels and went home to her husband dear. She tuned up his cruise, and to tell you the truth, they had triplets the very next year. So eat Bertha's MUSSELS, they're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them in the bar. So when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. They will cure your diarrhea, cure your constipation too, thank God. Just swallow a box for the chicken pox, for the measles or the flu. So if you fancy a healthy life, get your daily dosage straight. A plate a day of Bertha's MUSSELS and you'll live to be 98. So eat Bertha's MUSSELS, sing, they're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them in the bar. So if you're ashore at Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. And so we come sliding in sideways, slightly on fire. The end of another Troubadork non-commute show right here in lovely, far too sunny, 13 feet away from the sun, San Antonio, Texas. What have we learned today? Not bloody much, and that's all right. This is not intended to be a heavy show. This is a light, goofy, silly show where I will do light, goofy, silly things for people because we need some of that. That appears to be my groove. And I welcome every opportunity to do it, and I thank everybody who has decided to hang out with me a little bit on this afternoon, because let's be honest, without you here, what I do makes no sense whatsoever. Well, let's do the plug thing. Why not? We'll push the button here. Plug number 1. I am now hiding behind plug number 1. Can you see me now? PayPal.com. If you do a date with real, you have literally, oh, ay. Thank you, Richard, for completely throwing off my stream of consciousness. Well done, sir. I salute you. No littering. No littering. Wow, if they couldn't see the comments over here, what I just said would make no sense whatsoever, and even now barely makes sense. PayPal.com/theadequate is the tip jar, and if you drop anything in there, it all goes right back into the show. It goes into things like camera stuff, and I got a new toy. I got this little Stream Deck thing that allows me to push buttons. See that? Look at that Stream Deck. Yeah. Instead of clicking, which I'm still getting the hang of because I'm not sure how to do all this stuff yet. Ukulele strings, batteries for tuners, extra tuners because the tuners are consumed by the legendary tuner Cabra. Talent, stuff like that. PayPal.com/theadequate, and I want to thank Robert and Rick and Emily and Miranda for all tossing a couple of bucks in the bucket there. If you're interested in a more long-term commitment to support adequacy in our lifetime, you can go to patreon.com/theadequate right up there. I got a brand new Patreon patron this week, and that is Steven. Everybody say hi to Steven. Hi, Steven! And Steven and Robin, Alicia and Relly and BK and Kaylee and Richard and John and Brian and Lorene have all committed to tossing a buck or two in the bucket every month, so it's basically $12, and it goes towards stuff for the show. So when we move, and we are going to be moving where I do this from this room to another room, everything that happens there to improve the quality of this live stream will be attributable to the generosity of the crazy people who watch this show and follow me around. Also, if you happen to have a friend or relative with lots of disposable income and no sense whatsoever, patreon.com/theadequate after you talk them into paying off all of your bills. Patreon patrons also get previews of new songs. They get some swag. I got some buttons that are going out today. Ebooks, copies of the artisanal gibberish book that I made. Some physical copies remain, and I will be giving those out at certain levels. And of course, the big one, and Kaylee, I'm still waiting to hear from you on this. The You're So Darn Smart, You Write a Song perk. Basically, you tell me to write a song about a thing, and I do it. And then I play it here. And we all decide whether this was a good idea or not. Patreon.com/theadequate is where you can find that. The archives live over on Facebook.com on the Tobias the Adequate page, and at Twitch TV at the twitch.tv/Tobias the Adequate. That's where I am. YouTube.com/MPLEGARE also has the Troubadork playlist, which I will be updating this week. I'm generally about a week behind on that one. It's gotten a little easier now that I know how it works. And, of course, Carpe Diem Comics is the official emotional support comic shop of Tobias the Adequate, the Troubadork Show, artisanal gibberish, anything else that seems like a good idea at the time. They are physically located in McKinney, Texas, and electronically located at carpediemcomicsonline.square.site. This is, of course, the regular reminder to support your local comic shops, your local craft stores, local gaming hangouts, especially right now when the numbers are really stupid. If you can get something online, get something online. That'll put a little money in their bucket, and it also means that they can keep going. As Shadow put it, today is not that day. They say every day when you're a independent shop owner, you worry that today is going to be the day you don't make any money at all. You don't sell nothing. And so far, Carpe Diem has not had that day yet. Make today not that day for your locals. Okay? Do me a favor. Do me a solid on this, okay? Let's see what else. That's pretty much everything else, I think. And as we slowly sink into the west, as we wait for the temperature to get down under 100 degrees so we can go outside without bursting into flames, I would like to thank you all for hanging out with me here in the light of the relentless Texas summer sun and the gentle snoring of my wife in the next room. She's seen these shows, she's heard these songs, and she's heard me talk. At this point, she just listens for keywords. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I will see you all again Monday, if we do this right. And we will do this again Monday through Thursday, 4:30 Central Time. And those of you who are coming in afterwards and checking out the replays, thank you also, because y'all do my fragile little performer's ego a lot of good. Y'all are basically adding years to my lifespan in the middle, the good part. Thank you all. You've been wonderful. I've been Tobias the Adequate, and thank you for encouraging my behavior.